watching Football Week with your host, one half of that dynamic duo, Sean Spencer, and South Carolina's finest, Will Craven.
Don't play us if you're undefeated.
Where we celebrate past success while looking to a bright future. There's a youth movement in Washington, and they're ready to take the reins, led by firefighters.
Play aggressive.
It's a new day, new dawn, no longer the laughing stock. It's time to take them.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday. Happy Hump Day! So you know what that means. I'm with my guy, all the way from South Carolina, Will Kramer. What up, Will?
Oh, man. It's good to be talking football.
Yes.
This time of year. It's good to be talking football. It's good to be talking November winning football, Sean.
Let's go.
What is this?
Let's go.
You know what we're going to have? I can tell you on November 6th, we're going to have a December to remember.
Let's go. Let's go. Come on now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the peak right now of excitement. Real, I mean, we just come on, we got the chest all out and everything. Like, you know what I mean? And look, hey, we see what happened. We're gonna talk about how we swept the Giants. They're yesterday's news. We're not worried about that. We know how Dallas is falling apart. Dak, get well, buddy. We're not too well. The only thing I'm really worried about is Saquon Barkley doing backflip hurdles over people. You know, that's a little bit much. I don't know. I get a little nervous about that. But other than that, I mean, Will, man, I'm so hyped to be a Washington fan right now. Come on now.
We are it.
Let's go.
We are it.
Come on. and as a matter of fact, what up, Nate? What up, dog? As a matter of fact, you guys said it before, and when you said it before, it wasn't really as true. But right now, this is fitting, Will.
That's right. All right, man. Hey, I've been waiting a couple days to say this. We're back. We're back.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. We are definitely back here. I'm trying to tell you, I am as hyped as can be.
Let's go. And that was after what, a 4-game win streak, you know, and a struggling season.
Could be. Yeah. Beating Cam Newton. Yeah, made me happy.
You know, but we are definitely back leading the division at 7-2. And as you saw, our buddy Ab Lowe, he will definitely be joining us a little bit later because we got to talk some trade talks and things that happen. And the fact that we're excited. We're 7-2. But one of the reasons, Will, is because we won. We won again. Get the broomsticks out, ladies and gentlemen, because we swept those New York G-men right out of the stadium, getting the W. I will ask you this, though, Will. Yeah, we're 7-2, but another game that we let these guys stay close on us. I always say divisional games, they hit differently, but at the same time, it's still the Giants. Like, we see the Cowboys beating them 40-0 in the game last year and stuff like that. Like, I want to just wipe the floor with these guys. What is it that we keep playing these guys close?
It is. You said it, though. It's something about the Giants. We are not able to just, destroy them, and there's been many times when either we are even teams or we are a better roster, better team, and the Giants just have our number. So it wasn't pretty. They exposed us in the first half on the run defense. They exposed us in the second half with pass defense, but we got the win. We scored 27 points. We're continuing to put points on the board. And so it's a division game. We're 2-0 in the division. And most importantly, we're coming off a high
Yes.
a very emotional high win, and it showed the coaches can rally the team, can focus the team, and say, "Hey, it's division." That was awesome. That was an incredible win versus the Bears, but we got to move on past it, and they did. And so that's the part that there's still a lot to be to be very happy about, getting the win.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact that we swept the Giants we have to make note of that, because, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand, if you've been a Washington fan for the last couple of years, these Giants games, none of them have been given. Before this season, Daniel Jones was 5-1-1 against us. Now, Daniel Jones has not done anything for the rest of his career, but when he plays Washington, some reason he gets up for this game and he plays well. But to your point, after the emotional game we had this week, a lot of times this game could have been a letdown, but we got fired up. We did what we needed to do, and it felt great to come away with this. Although towards at one point it was kind of like, wait a minute, are we letting them back in? Are they really going to get back in this thing? Come on, y'all, put this thing away. But we did end up getting it done. And like you said, 2-0 in division. Look, let's get into the offense. Let's get into how we played another week without B-Rob. Yeah. And Ab, and shout out to Ab, he's coming on a little bit later, but he's made the point that we don't have that same mesh, the same juice when B-Rob's not in there. The offense just kind of, it's not totally off, but you can tell that there's something missing there. Shout out to Chris Rodriguez that got in there and, led all rushers for 52 yards. But Will, talk to me about this coming into this game, knowing we weren't going to have him. And we did put up 27, but it's kind of like it's something missing when he's not there.
It is. And I'll be the first one to share that last year I was calling Brian Robinson expendable, that he was all right, but I didn't think he was anything. I'm not re-signing this guy. We'll draft somebody else in the third round and let him take over. Well, we're kind of showing that he's a little bit more than that. In our offense, he's a pretty big key to that offense, because now he's fast and he's physical, and he has the ability to get a few more yards on every play, and that was kind of missing, on Sunday. I will give them this credit though. Unlike against the Ravens, they didn't abandon the run game. We had 18 carries against the Ravens in total, where at times we'd be giving the ball to Brian Robinson 18 times a game. But they kept with it, and they had close to 150 yards through the ground by their three running backs plus Jaden. He was much more careful with his running. They were timely, great decisions when he chose to run. So I do like the fact that we didn't abandon the run, and so we were able to keep it part of the game plan. And that last drive that we had, it was just first down after first down and runs after runs, and by Rodriguez and McNichols, and they really kind of helped ice the game for us, which was really important. So I do like that they were able to have some sort of a run game, which when the last time he was out, we did not.
Yeah, and that's something that definitely makes me feel better. Like I said, we got Chris Rodriguez in the game, and we saw how effective he could be in this offense, and I kind of liked it. I don't know if you got the same image, but towards the end of the game, it kind of gave me some Stephen Davis vibes, where it was just downhill, just get pounding. 70 chip, left over to the left or over to the right, just keep turning. They know what's happening, but he still played. And for somebody that we didn't know if he was even going to make the roster, we knew McNichols came up and Wiley and all those guys. So to see that he made it, and then to see that he comes in, he dresses, he plays in this game, and he was effective. We talk about next man up. We talk about making the best of your opportunity. I love that we're able to see this guy. What does this though say for McNichols? Is he in jeopardy? Is this running back by committee?
I think it's running back by committee. I think the concern is going to be right now is which one of those guys goes through waivers. I think Rodriguez is the one who is supposed to be sent back down, because he got brought up through the practice squad as part of your injury rules and stuff. There are two different running backs. McNichols kind of follows a little bit more of the Eckler role. He's a little bit more shiftier, whereas Rodriguez is a little bit more of the physical runner that Brian Robinson is. But I think it's kind of interesting because during training camp, this guy wasn't getting playing time, and he got cut because of attitude.
Yeah.
He kind of came in entitled, saying like, well, I was drafted here last year, and I was running back 3, and I showed some things, and but look at him now getting a chance. That's just that just shows how winning is contagious. And when you see a guy like McNichols come up, who just special teams, gets a start, makes big plays, goes back to special teams, comes back and gets some more opportunities, it's kind of like, all right, well, maybe, if he can do it and then he gets his chance to shine, maybe I should just do my job,
right,
play my role, and I'll get an opportunity. And when my opportunity comes, I'm ready to go, because you're on a good team.
Right.
You're on a team that has the running game working with the read option plays or the option plays with JD5. You've got an offensive line that's clicking right now, so it's a good place to be. So it was good to see him come. It's a great question you bring up of like what happens between the two of them. I think maybe McNichols still has the edge, but it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens with that slot.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like to your point, definitely a good sign to see whoever they're put in there is up to the challenge, and they're continuing to help our offense run. Now, mind you, I think Thibodeau wasn't in the game for the Giants.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And so we were able to run a lot better on them than probably been the last time. But it was good to see this. But when the running game's working, then you have the timely passes. And I'm gonna let you talk about Noah, but I got to talk about Terry. Now, he only had 2 receptions for under 20 yards. And you look at that, if you just leave it there, you're sitting here like, what's going on? What are we doing?
Yeah.
And then you see those 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then you see it and you're like, whoa, especially the one right before the half, where it's like we knew we were getting the ball in the second half. For them to take that chance, it was almost reminded me of the NFC Championship game where Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, when they played the Packers. And it was a 4th and 1, and everybody thought he was gonna, spike it or just run a little, kneel it, and he ended up going deep and hitting the fade route to Scotty Brooks. Like that's what it seemed like. It was like we took their heart right before the half, and then got the ball in the second half. But even though that was only 2 receptions for Terry, it's like they have a checklist in Washington. Get Terry his touches, get Terry his numbers or his touchdowns or whatever. And let's go from there. And everybody else can eat and do it like that. Talk to me about the attention we're finally putting on Terry and how the other guys are eating.
I needed to hear you say that.
Yeah,
I did, because I've heard you complain that Terry doesn't get the ball in the preseason, Sean.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Every game, every day. That's my guy.
Yeah. No. You're totally right. He had the most impactful 2 catches anyone could ever have in a game. If all you're going to do is make 2 catches. Now, also, how in the world does Deonte Banks give up that touchdown pass? Like, it was a great throw by Jaden. It was a great throw. But also, like, if that usually is a play that we're on the other side of, the losing side of that, and that's what we're sitting going, how the bleep do you give that up? Like, there's only one place they can throw the ball, that's end zone, or 2 places, end zone or out of bounds, and you give up a play behind you. Like, come on now. But it is really good that they recognize that Terry needs to be a part of this offense, that the offense works better when Terry is part of it, or that Terry has the ability by getting him early, you then open up other players.
Yes.
Because the defense is then going to say, oh, they are looking his way. They're not worried. They're not scared to throw it his way if we blanket him in coverage. And then that's going to open up guys like Noah Brown, who led our team with 5 catches for 60 yards. It's going to open up your guy, De'Ami Brown. 1 catch, 24 yards. Impactful.
Yeah, let's go.
He kind of turned some chicken thing into chicken into some chicken salad on that play there. So he did really well. My guy, Olamide Zaccheaus.
Come on,
big time catch. He had the big 40-yarder towards the end of the game where they're like, Washington might just be running out the clock, and they're like, oh no, we're going for the jugular. There it is. And plays like that, the attention that Terry gets now opens up the other guys, and the fact that Cliff Kingsbury's offense is not designed to just focus on one guy. It's to spread it around. It's giving everybody a chance to be impactful, and it continues to be a strength for us right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that's something I love is that Cliff Kingsbury is making sure that everybody is eating, everybody's getting a touch just to get them in the game, even if it's one catch or one or two catches. Everybody's kind of feeling a part of the game. And here's something that people, I don't know if you guys know this, but the more you involve people in your offense or in whatever you're doing, the more they feel a part of it. And then they're going to want to do a little bit extra for you on the next play. They're going to want to block a little bit harder or go down there and be the decoy or whatever. Similar to what we do in this, where when it's one thing if you shout somebody out, but if you bring somebody on and allow them to have their voice, allow them to come out here and speak, now they're more apt to want to go and share it and spread it and do all that same stuff. So kudos to Cliff, kudos to JD5 for being able to move that around. One more thing I want to talk about, because y'all know, and since we have Ab on, we got to talk about the fact that in the off season, I'm always talking about my O-line, okay, and how great my O-line is. Now, for the last couple of years, it's been a little suspect, but all I know, 0 sacks in this game. Now, JD definitely helped with that by scrambling and get out of there. But the fact that he's staying clean, come on, man. After going from my guy Sam being on his back more than a lady of the night, all right? I mean, listen, all right? I'm sick and tired. I'm mad at what they did to my guy. But the fact that you can get this guy, you can keep him upright is beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm sorry I had to say it like that.
I can't get over that example. I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Come on. I mean, it was on the ground more than he was up, man. So, but shout out to them. They are playing well. You talked about Wiley a couple weeks ago and how he's doing. The fact that you have Biotis, okay, who we brought in from Dallas. You have Allegretti, who we also brought in. But then you have the rookie out there with Coleman. You know what I mean? And then on the other side, you have Wiley, who we were questioning, and we didn't know how that was going to play. These guys have been coming together and playing so well. Maybe they're motivated because they're playing for Dan Quinn. Maybe it's the fact that we know we got a guy back here, so if we keep him upright, he's going to make us look good. Whatever the case, they have been meshing and coming together, and that's as big a part of this offense and this win streak as JD5's play, as the run game, the receptions, all that stuff, because that giving that extra time to Jaden is paramount.
Yeah. How about the fact where you just said we just had a rookie left tackle give up no sacks and went up against Brian Burns, a Pro Bowler. I did not realize last week. We didn't do our show. The work had me way too occupied elsewhere, and I didn't realize that Cornelius Lucas was going to be out. And so all of a sudden Sunday morning, I was like, whoa. Right. We're starting Coleman here, who's coming off the concussion. Like, wait a minute here. Like, are we one bad shot to the head away from Trent Scott out there? Lord help us. And he performed extremely well. Dan Quinn was thrilled with him, and it continues to go back to why, like, I can't question anything about this team. I don't second guess what these guys do, because they're sitting there, they're in the draft, and we're sitting there like, you just drafted a defensive tackle? What? Wait, okay, we just traded a pick back? We just gave the Eagles a chance to draft a corner? Wait, you just drafted a corner? You just drafted a tight end? And we're sitting here like freaking out during the draft in the second round going, what are we doing? Right. And then Adam Page is like, okay, now I'll go ahead and get my left tackle. Calm as can be. Like, it's just, they just continue to impress how this organization gets put together. And it's another great performance by him. So yeah, that was so big to see.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad to see what they're doing. And to your point, even with everything, we're going to talk about what happened at the trade deadline, even with everything with that, it was kind of just like, just wait, just hold.
Yes.
There they go.
Yeah.
There they go. That's the move they're making.
I love that William Wallace reference you just made.
Yo, let's go on to defense. Let's talk about it. Because we gave up 18 in the first game. We gave up 22 in this one. for the most part of the game, it was 24-7, 24-10. Like we were winning the thing pretty handily. They started to come back as of late. Run game, they had over 150 yards on the ground. Teams still seemed to gash us. They didn't have Singletary this time. This time, Tyrone Tracy was their back who was getting it done, and then Daniel Jones. Oh, they did have Singletary this time, but he didn't. He only had 33 yards on the ground. Again, it's another thing where they just keep running on us. Daniel Jones had over 50 yards rushing, and it's something where it's like we're getting gashed, but it's not affecting us so much that it's ruining, the game, or they're, able to score or dictate what goes on. But still, and I've been talking to people, it's kind of like, can't we just stop that? Like this isn't Derrick Henry and Lamar. I get that. They do it against everybody in the league. But some of these, Tyrone Tracy, shout out to him, but Singletary and these guys, the Chase Browns of the world, you know what I mean? Even James Conner had over 100 on us, and we were like, really? Did he? But everybody is eating on us in that run game, man. Should I be concerned with this?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we should be concerned with it. There may be a remedy or help is on the way. Shout out one of my favorite Rise Again songs. And so that, there could be some change with that, but yeah, by all means, I mean, a guy like Tyrone Tracy, kind of gashing you in the first half of the game was not a good sight. And thank you, Brian Dable, and your awful play calling. You drive right down on us to get points, and then the very next drive, you throw the ball. Like, what are you doing? So you punt it right to us. I had a friend, Corey, was at the game. And so we were texting during the game, and he was just like, "What? Why are we throwing the ball right now? We just drove the entire length of the field running it, and we come out throwing." So by all means, it certainly is a concern. When Ab gets on here, we'll talk about one of the ways that we're able to potentially fix it with a scheme change that might be able to happen. But yeah, by all means, this is a very, very much a concern of what's happening with us.
Oh yeah, and it's something that you look at and you're just like, good God, like we need to fix this, and hopefully the scheme change, like we're talking about, we'll see what happens. Hopefully that fixes it. But then you look at it, that what really stopped it was the play calling, that they went to the pass. Now here's where I think we did positive, and a lot of people have a lot of different things to say. Look, we know how good or the lack of talent that we have in the secondary. We've known that since the beginning of the year. We've talked about that in the preseason coming into this. So we know we needed help. Thankfully, they heard us and they addressed that. With that being said, we gave up 10 catches for 127 yards to Malik Neighbors in the first game.
Yep.
Now, that was week 2. We gave 9 catches, but for under 60 yards in this ball game. Improvement. Now, whether it's what they're doing, if they're playing zone, if it's they're moving different guys to different positions, I haven't dove in that deep on the film to see what exactly they're doing, but I'm impressed by that. And especially with the move that we've made, it gives me hope going forward because of the fact that we've not had any shortage of great or legit wide receivers that we've had to play this year. And yes, the Jamar Chase and Malik Neighbors in the first game, and some of these guys, Evans and Godwin in that very first game, they've gotten some yards on us. Marvin Harrison went right down the field and scored a touchdown on us. Yes, but it's not dictating the game. It's like we give it to them, and it's like, okay, all right, you got that one, and then we start to slowly shut it down and put the clamps down on them. Will, talk to me about our secondary. We know we just got help. We know we've needed it. But something about the way that Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. are coaching these guys, maybe they're playing above their weight because they just really bought in, or is it the scheme? Like, what is happening to where we know what we have, but by the numbers, I think week 8 we were a top 15 overall defense.
Right.
So talk to me about what's going on in house. What are we doing in that secondary?
Yeah, and I think being around that 15 spot, so about middle of the league in defense sounds about right with how they're playing. They're not great, they do give up plays, but like you said, you kept their number one receiver who torched you the week before under 60 yards. Yeah, okay, so you gave up 9 catches, and they became pretty impactful. He was helping them get first downs, move the chains in the second half. You kept their quarterback to under 200 yards passing. Heck, you kept him under 175 yards passing. Daniel Jones was efficient out there, but he wasn't getting big plays on you. You didn't give up the long touchdown passes against him. They kind of chunked you down the field. And so they have been able to make some changes and some adjustments to kind of go with that bend, don't break. You wish they could be a lot more aggressive and be a lot more turnover opportunistic, but that just doesn't seem to be the personnel that we have. And I applaud our coaching staff for kind of figure out, okay, how can we make this work? We can't run the scheme we may want to run. We can't be as aggressive as we may want to, but how can we do it so we can still be effective? And most importantly, get off the field on third down. And they've been able to do that.
Oh yeah. And that's something that I'm excited to see. And we start to talk about, okay, well, where is this talent coming from? Where is it coming? We know Bobby Wagner. He's always up there on the top of the list or close to the top in tackles. And I still have a bone to pick with the refs in that game.
Yes.
Because you remember that fumble early on where Bobby took it back? That's a touchdown. Okay. Let them play, because that was definitely a touchdown. And kudos to him for having the wherewithal to pick up the ball, take it into the end zone, and just keep playing through that, man. That was huge. But I love seeing that. But I got to talk about Jeremy Chin in this game. We've all talked about how, there's been times where he's struggling. We're kind of questioning how good is he really. 11 tackles. 7 of them solo, then had 2 tackles for loss and a pass deflection in this game. With him, with all of these guys, it's just like it's somebody new each week. Each week, it's some guy that's coming up and making the best of his opportunity. And it really makes you sit there and be like, oh, last week, this guy is not doing it. Oh, shoot, look, he's doing it. It shows you they're looking at film. They're being coached up correctly. And these guys are coming together. A word that Ab says all the time is cohesion. They're playing together. They're communicating. Willie Jackson, communication. I mean, come on. I mean, they are talking to each other and they're keeping together. And I think that contributes to the fact of how well we're doing, Oh,
totally. I mean, we've been critical at times this year of people making their impact. And Chin, in the beginning of the season, was not making the kind of impact that we thought he would make. And, then we've sort of heard a little bit as things have gone on and a little bit that we mentioned where they've been able to kind of shore up a little bit of the secondary. And Dan Quinn has said that Chin deserves a lot of credit. Him and Wagner are talking. They're keeping everybody in step to know what they should be doing. And you saw another game where he was able to make an impact. The pass deflection he had on the throw to, it was either Bellinger or Theo Johnson. It's a great deflection away to stop on third down. When he read the screen and thumped Wan'Dale Robinson, that was a tone setter. I talk about that with special teams all the time, but he did it too, where it just kind of gets everybody hyped up. And you said it perfectly when it's a different guy every single week. If it's not Luvu, it's Chin, or it's Wagner, or it's Fowler, who got 2 sacks again this week as our leading sack guy, or it's Dorrance Armstrong. It's always someone every week where to kind of step up and make plays, and that's exactly what you want. We're not as predictable as well. That you got to make sure you get a hat on this guy, and then we'll be successful.
Oh yeah. And I think the real question, if we're really being realistic and being honest with ourselves, when we're looking at this, you look at who we've played. Let's be honest. The Giants, we played them twice, held them to under 23 total points. Arizona, which has been playing a lot better as of late.
They're up and down.
They're up and down. We held them to 14. Obviously, what Baltimore did, Carolina, we did what we had to. Chicago, we had shut them out for the majority of the game until late third quarter and then into the game when they ended up scoring. This defense has been playing above their weight. But I think my question, Will, realistically, can they sustain it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't. I mean, you got to hope what we brought in is going to be a quick fix. But I mean, I've been waiting for a while that the dam's going to break. Like, I'm still worried about that Philly game, man. We've seen now AJ Brown's out a little bit, but we've seen Devontae Smith run all over us, before. We've seen them pass all over us. So yeah, I'm still worried about it without a doubt.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it should be interesting. It should definitely be interesting going down, but I believe that, at least as long as they're coaching, I will put my confidence in that. But yeah, to your point, I'm not looking forward to some of those games. Let's one more thing real quick before we bring our guy Ab on. Let's talk special teams. Will, you know how I feel about my guys. This is my favorite area. And
Yes.
another game where Tress Way undergains our quarterback. Only 2 punts, 109 yards. Tress got a nice light day today. I liked it. Or on a Sunday. I enjoyed it. I appreciate it, Tress. Keep having your vacation year. You're not going to be getting rewarded at the end of the season, and it's okay because you might be in the playoffs. So just enjoy yourself, Tress. Enjoy yourself. But Will, talk to me about the special teams. Siebert, another perfect game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, huge, especially when now you look at, what was the final score and Austin Siebert kicking his field goals, And one of the things I was kind of thinking about while watching that game is, the touchdown to Terry, him making the field goals. I'm like, this is the kind of stuff that we would miss when we were with Ron. That would just make the game that much harder to win. But with this team right now, we're making the plays. No, Siebert is great, although cause for concern, he did not practice today with a right hip injury.
Oh.
I don't know what that's all about. So definitely something to be worried about.
And here it comes. The
Right.
other two.
Right.
Look, and to how well we did. Eckler had one kick return. Alamadi Zacchaeus only had one punt return. So they really weren't a huge factor. But the fact that we are still doing well at kicking. Tress Way is getting a lot of rest. We're good. We're good with this. And in this game, we really didn't need that. We didn't have a lot of opportunities to return. We really didn't. It didn't affect us one way or the other, but those kicks were huge, and I absolutely love it. And the punts too, because we got one of those. One of the two was in the 20, so definitely flip the field position, and it's always good to see Tress get out there. Just warm up. Don't get tight on the sidelines, Tress. Just get out there and warm up, buddy. I know your wrist was hurting. I know, man. Just get out there.
Love it.
But look, ladies and gentlemen, that's a brief little recap of the Giants game. Another win, 7-2, and it's exciting to see all this happening. But we've been excited. It's been a good year. And when we're having a good year like this, we got to bring in somebody that was with us when we weren't excited, when we were trying to figure out how we were going to make it week to week. We got to bring in our guy, Mr. Ab Lowe. What up, Ab?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And look, first and foremost, Ab, we're 7-2, my guy. 7-2. Head of the division. Danae, I know you were in the comments. How you like us now? How you feeling, Ab? How you feeling, man?
It's a wonderful feeling, man. We're doing so much with so little, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch these games. I love sharing the experience with my daughter. She loves cheering the team on, guys. It's great.
Let's go. Another young commander / football team / Redskin.
Right.
Let's get it. But look, you know why. You know why we brought you on. We've all been talking about it. We've all been trying to figure out what is Washington going to do. Are they going to do anything? And for those of you that don't know, when it comes to talking trades, when it comes to talking money, when it comes to talking anything, this guy right here is in the building. He was one of the ones that told us, Marshawn, is he available? Well, he is. Lattimore comes. We trade to get Marshawn Lattimore. What does this mean for us as a team, especially as a defense, Ab?
First, let's see how it'll affect the offense. I think this will affect the offense indirectly. I say that is because it takes a lot of the pressure off the offense, and it doesn't. We don't have to sit there and score 30 points a game in order to win now.
Yeah.
Like Will, you mentioned that it was we were holding up. Like our defense wasn't bad, especially historically bad, like we're used to. But you could score on our defense, and all it would take is like a mistake or two on the offense, and we'd lose that game. You know, I mean, took out Brian Robertson, and we lost the game to Baltimore, and we played as good of a game. Both ways played as good of a game as can be, and we still lost. Right. So offense doesn't have to be absolutely perfect in order to win games now. You know, and we got a little bit of leeway. As far as on the defense side, guys, everybody can play in their right spot now. We got our CB1. He's taking the AJ Browns, the CD Lambs, and stuff like that. Now we get Juice to take their second guy. Honestly, I said it earlier today. Juice is not a bad cornerback. He's just mismatched, and everybody should look at that, because I think we all remember St. Juice being a quite acceptable cornerback. He actually was doing his thing. He can do his thing. He can play well. And honestly, there was a pass interference in the Giants game that I saw, and I thought it was a good play on the ball. And he was just fighting for the ball, and he should be able to do that. But he's got good skills. He's got good height. He's fast. He's quick. He shouldn't be on the number one guy. And if he is, not all game.
Yeah.
And I keep saying it still.
You had it.
Yeah.
I said it's yeah.
You got it.
Okay. I had trouble saying his name, y'all. My bad. He can go back into the nickel. And honestly, like I would love to see how this defense looks going 100%. Like, and honestly, we're going to be as close as to 100% once Lattimore gets in there, and I'm excited to see that.
Oh yeah. And now, and one thing we can't say about St. Juice is his celebrations. Okay, I can dig it. All right, as long as he makes the deflection, we're good to go. All right.
He's got to do that. He can't celebrate it when the ball is 15 yards over him. He's like, I got you. I got burnt, but he overthrew him.
Yeah.
He's trying to be a household name, y'all.
Yeah. No, but Ab, you're so right. Like what this trade does is it allows people to we drafted Sanderson not to be an outside corner, and huge shout out to him for the transition that he made. He became a solid outside corner. He's going to get torched by the AJ Browns, by the CD Lambs, the guys who are bigger than him, and he hadn't got to that. But the fact that he made himself into a solid outside corner in his rookie year, where in November, where I talk about making that transition, like that just, it leads you to be so excited about his future. But they drafted him to be the nickel, to be the inside guy. Let's let him shine where they drafted him for. So that's a great point that you said about this is what this brings us, is to line people up.
Oh yeah. And I also wonder, what does this do for our turnovers? I mean, what does this do? What kind of threat does this give to us? Because we knew what Forbes was supposed to be brought in here for. He was supposed to be brought in here to, get the picks and be able to, take possessions away in X, Y, and Z. That hasn't come to fruition. And we really have not been able, with the exception of what Sammer still and his picks, we really have not been able to turn the ball over. Now having a guy like this, a consummate pro, an all-pro, a guy that's a stud, that's we've known has gone up against Mike Evans, twice a year, every year. So he can handle his own against the best. Is this going to up obviously it's going to up our secondary, but is our turnovers, are we going to start turning the ball over, taking possessions from them with this type of guy?
Take it out.
Okay, yeah. To me, I think it's a possibility. I mean, shit, it can't get any worse, right? Like, I mean, we aren't really doing it now, so I mean, it can't get any worse. I think with a guy like this, that he's just another leader, one, and then two, he's gonna put, like, I mean, you guys were already talking about Luvu, Wagner, and Chin being communicating, and he's just another guy to communicate back there. And to me, I think that's gonna put people on, like, in the optimal space to excel at. And I mean, I just hope these guys can catch. That's all, because maybe we need more turnovers. And, like that's one thing about this defense that's just not clicking on, is they're not getting these turnovers. And that is what, like, that's the only thing that's missing in this game, in the game that we watched. It's exciting as hell. And on the offensive side, what would make the defense more exciting is turnovers.
Right. You know what I think about it is, and this is what I was holding back when we were talking about the concerns on the run game, is this is going to allow us to, you said it, line up properly. What they've had to do, because they were so concerned about their poor corners, is they've been having Quan and Chin and Percy Butler stay back and help out, play deep. Now this is going to allow you to go just one single high safety. You can put Chin all over the place, move him up. That could help your run defense. It can provide some pass rush opportunities. You can be a lot more creative with our team. So that may provide the opportunity. You know, they say if you don't have, if you have a good pass rush, you can give yourself an opportunity to get some interceptions by getting the quarterback to throw the ball quicker than he's ready to. So I think it just adding a corner of that can allow players to be used as chess pieces, as opposed to just, we got to be able to not get beat deep.
Mm-hmm. And what this also adds is now we have that veteran in the back. You know, we have the veteran in the middle with Wagner, and obviously Lou was in there. But now you have a guy that could, like you said, communicate and check the secondary. We got vets on the D line. Now you start to look at a defense that is younger, but now has certain solid pieces that are like on the field coaches almost. So we're now, okay, like you were talking about with Wagner and Chin talking and communicating. Now if you looking over here and you got Lattimore, and Lattimore is going to give you that nod, like, I got him. Don't worry about him. Now all of a sudden we're playing, 10 on 10. You know what I mean? Now all we got to do is worry about this side and everything over here, and you have guys that you can rely on and depend on. I think that's going to start to help our secondary to kind of play big, because you guys, I think it's Ab that you sent us the thing in the chat where we saw Marshawn Lattimore talking, working with St. Juiced and showing him techniques and stuff like that. You can't get that kind of coaching anywhere. I mean, coaches can do it to some extent, but at the same time, with somebody that's actually active, actually dominant where he's at right now, coaching some of these guys that have been struggling, I almost wonder if having a Lattimore in-house, does that up a Forbes game? Does that make him relevant in this defense? Now, you got a coach, you got Lattimore, like, at least it kind of disguises some of his weaknesses. If he gets on the field.
You said Forbes?
Yeah, Forbes.
Oh, wow. I thought of that too, Sean. I thought that maybe he can coach up Forbes to get him right. Like, like in the movie Life, can't get right. That's Forbes. Yep. So, maybe he could get him right. You know what I'm saying? But I think that'll take out. I think that's gonna take time, off-season time, in order to do. I don't think you can, like, not especially in the time right now. Like, we're almost in playoff football. 4 out of the next 8 teams are legit teams. Like, they're they have like a 6-2 record, kind of 6-2, 6-3 record. They're a legit team. So we're going to be going fast pretty soon, and this is where we're going to make our name on. Like, this is where we're going to show people we're legit. So maybe he is the guy to teach them. To me, in my opinion, not right now.
Right.
Yeah, Forbes might need a little bit more work than just a couple weeks could actually help him with.
Yeah,
because he's been struggling. Look, you mentioned it. You alluded right to it. We're going to go right into it. I believe, the next 5 weeks, we got what?
I just want to talk one more thing. Sorry, this relates perfectly for abs. That's why I wanted to kind of jump back to that. You know what this trade also does? We've all season long been saying, where are our holes that we have to address? Cornerback, defensive end, and a wide receiver. This has draft ramifications. Now it's no longer going into, we've all been saying that cornerback was our biggest liability, to saying, well, we're going to have to fill that cornerback spot. And I was already saying, you got to get the cornerback first and then go add pieces. Now you just gave Adam Peters the opportunity to be like, I'm going best player available for the holes that I need. This is Ab's dream for him to get to pick number 25 and go, trade back. I'm going to trade back, and I'm going to go get myself another second rounder, and then I'm going to turn that second rounder into 3/3, and I'm going to stack just like I did now, where I got 5 players being an impact off my first 5 picks. That's what I'm going to do again next year.
There we go.
My mock drafts won't look as ridiculous now.
Right?
My 4 trade backs will not look as ridiculous now.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's what I thought of. I was like, man, Ab's just going to be like, he's going to be cooking on those websites. You want this? Trade it again.
I'm getting you all, guys. I'm setting up the next 3 drafts. I'm trying to tell you. If Adam Peters is anything like me, he's trying to get a first next year with that number 25 pick, if we get that. Because I like, honestly, with this Lattimore pickup, guys, we are contenders. Like, let's put that out there. We are contenders now, and I pray, like, no injuries and everything like that. But us right now look very good. Me and with all our back and forth, what this also does, it's I think, and I was preaching for a trade. I wanted to trade really bad, but this lets us and lets the team know that we're serious, and it doesn't throw away the season. No one expected this. Adam Peters didn't even expect this, but if you didn't make this trade, it was almost like, and I know you had a plan. Adam Peters had a plan, but this gets the fan base invested. This gets the team invested, because everybody knew the deficiencies we had on defense, and honestly, the team right now is not like serious, and it's now serious. So, and he invested, even though we gave up a lot for Lattimore, we are investing in this team right now. We're not just taking it for granted like 49ers have. Like, we're actually doing this, guys. Like, and we all should be excited, like, because we're the second best team, and I could even argue we're the first best team in the NFC.
The recalibration happened a whole lot quicker than any of us thought.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I wonder, I we always talk about trusting the coaches and Quinn and Cliff and Joe Witt and all these guys. I wonder if they looked at this team and deliberately said calibration, because they said, we have a team that can put it together. I mean, we've seen what Joe Witt and Dan Quinn can do with the secondary, which is by far one of our biggest hole. And now all of a sudden, you're seeing us work with these wide receivers that outside of Terry, a lot of them aren't really as prominent, but everybody's eating and doing their job. They're all fitting into the system. And honestly, it just really gives you so much confidence in the fact that everything that they're doing, they know what they're doing. It's almost like they have this plan, they're seeing it, and they just wait. Right before the games, Ab, you mentioned it, the games that we're really gonna start to play, Pittsburgh, Philly, Dallas. I know they're hurt, but they always give us trouble. Philly again, like coming into this, and they said, we went 7-2 with what we have. Now we're showing you we're going to get this piece. Now we're, to your point, we're serious. We're going right into it. And let's talk about this right here, because going into this Steelers game, they're 6-2. They've had the bye week. They're coming off the bye. We're playing them at 7-2. Obviously, a couple years ago, we know they were undefeated until they played Washington. Let's go. Shout out to Alex Smith. We got that dub, and honestly, I look at this game, and Ab, I'll come to you first. I look at this game, and part of me, if this was a couple weeks ago, I'm like, I think we got this, man. I'm not Justin Fields. He's got legs and everything. They're not really spreading the ball that much in the pass attack. It's really the run. I feel like we can do this. Now that they got Russ in there, and they're going to start to open up that passing game. Now Pickens is going to be that much more of a problem to go along with the Najee Harris's and the Pat Fryer move at tight end. How are you feeling coming into this? Are you a little nervous to see what Russ does and everything, or does Lattimore kind of shut it down on the defense for you?
All right, guys. I may be the different person on this, but I am actually confident in this game. I really am. I'm even more confident because they got Russ back there. I'm not too positive about this offense. I think our defense can take them even better now with Lattimore here. And but I would be a little bit worried, a little bit more worried if it was Justin Fields. That's where I think mobile quarterbacks is our like kryptonite. If I'm being honest about it,
yep.
I think like Lamar Jackson, like that option for him to run, and like when the play falls apart, I think everybody.
Jones.
What's
How
up?
the hell is Daniel Jones? How the hell does he always have great games against us?
Yeah, I just think that if it was Justin Fields, I'd be more worried. But with Russ is a good quarterback. He's not as great as he used to be, but he's a good quarterback. I think our defense, like they've held up. They stayed home, and they're able to handle quarterbacks like that. They play these quarterbacks well. They really do. And Russ isn't as mobile, and I think that'll be his downfall. And we're going to get him, and we're going to touch him a lot. He's going to throw up a whole bunch of Hail Marys, and this is where we get our turnovers, guys. Like, I say Hail Marys, but I mean
moon balls. That's what he throws. The moon ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he just throws up balls, and this is where we're going to get at least 2 interceptions.
Ooh, I like that.
That'd be
I
nice.
like that. Will, what you think about this, man? Because I kind of agree that Russ ain't the same Russ that we saw in 2012 in the playoff game. He's not the same from 2013 when they're going to the Super Bowls and doing that. I would actually probably say he's a little bit closer to what we saw in Denver, although a little bit better in Pittsburgh. I think if you pressure him, I don't think he's thinking I need to go out here and make a play. I think he's saying, Sierra said don't get hurt. So I have to go ahead and put down on it. I mean, I'm being honest with you, because even in the press conference, he was like, well, do you have a new motto? He's like, well, Sierra said, I gotta just chill with that, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, she's probably telling you can go play, but not that much. All right. That's how they're staying together. But talk to me about it. What do you think about Russ and their offense?
The fact that it's all of a sudden come out of nowhere, I think he's only been in for 2 games, kind of makes it's all new. It's all fresh. It's also kind of remarkable because he looked really bad in the offseason. I mean, they went from saying, well, Justin Fields was traded for just in case, to all of a sudden they're like, we got a quarterback competition after like day one of training camp. They were like, Russell looks terrible out here. And then he gets hurt and Justin Fields takes over. And it's kind of surprising that they said we're going back to him and to give him a chance. So it's new. And you guys know I get freaked out when there's not enough film on there to see what they're doing, to really scheme up. But there have been 2 games, and I do think we've got a pretty good coaching staff. I think they've got some components that are concerning. I mean, the fact that Najee Harris is having a rejuvenated type season. He's got a few more yards than B-Rob. 592 for him to 461 from B-Rob. B-Rob's also missed 2 games. But Harris is a factor again. He's had a couple down years. He's back. Pickens, this guy went from being ship him out because he is a head case to all of a sudden he's making plays left and right every single game. And, I would almost say I'd feel a little more confident if it was 1 more week later to play these guys, 1 more extra week of practice for Lattimore before we just run him out there against us. But I think it's going to be a fun test. This is an exciting game to be a part of. 7-2 versus 6-2. TJ and his 6.5 sacks, Dante Fowler and our 6.5 sacks. There's a lot of similarities stat-wise that we have with these guys. The defense has been playing well for them. Their offense is starting to work right now. I think it's just going to be a really, really exciting game.
Oh yeah, I'm thrilled to see, because I believe, like you said, we do match up. And look, Ab, I'm coming to you. We already know what Pittsburgh is known for. It's that steel curtain defense. It's the TJ Watts, it's the Hayward, the Minkah Fitzpatrick, all those guys, Joey Porter Jr., those type of dudes. But, we got a quarterback. My quarterback. So I already got a little bit of confidence there. But when you look up against them, if we're playing them any of the last couple of years, even in that year that we beat them when they were undefeated, I'm sitting here just like, oh, here we go. Man, we're not even going to be able to get a snap off. Now I'm kind of like, bro, we can neutralize these. Like we could keep them on their heels, and we could be the aggressor going up against them. What do you think our offense's chances are? Like, how do you think we'll do?
Again, I think we will do well. To me, who did Pittsburgh lose to? Colts, I want to say.
Colts and in Dallas.
Oh, Dallas! Wow,
yeah,
really?
20-17 or something like that. Janae always.
So they, everyone's talking about who do we beat, but who have they beaten? You know what I'm saying? Especially no. Who did they lose to? Like, are we really like, you know what I'm saying? Are we really talking about that? Like, I think we. I was about to give one of my keys, but no, I think we, I think we're gonna do well, Sean. Sean, this is like, to me, I'm not even worried about it. Like I know I was confident about the Giants game that we won. I think I was the only one that said we were going to win that game. By the way, but no, I'm a little bit more confident with that. I thought we were going to blow the Giants out, but no, I like, especially if B-Rob plays, I think we're going to show complete efficient offense, and it's not going to be close.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Hey, Will, yeah, look, I can, with B-Rob in there and our two-headed system, I mean, like, I honestly think we could punch these guys right in the mouth. I mean, take a shot to Terry first off. Let Joey Porter Jr. know he's going to be in an all-day dogfight. And we've seen Terry ain't afraid to get in people's faces as of late. He's been talking to some people, especially Tyreek Stevenson. He let him know that you ain't, I ain't going to say it, Mom. So you don't have to worry about it. I ain't going to say it. But, but I mean, I think we go right after him. I think we let them know, hey, we know how good you are, but you ain't seen our quarterback yet. I mean, what you think, Will?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm looking at their schedule as Ab talked about who they lost to. It's more about who have they also beat. I mean, we can kind of play a little bit of that game, but the Giants gave them a really close game, but you're talking about beating the Jets when they've been a dumpster fire when they got to play them. The Raiders, the Broncos, I mean, the Falcons in week 1, where they had no cohesion with that team. That's not the same Falcons team as it was. So, there is something to be said. Chargers are their other victory where, like, your wins aren't impressive. So that's what it just makes this game almost like the bigger marquee game is both teams really need to have that, the signature win that they're lacking right now.
Oh, absolutely. And real quick, one more thing. Like, what does this mean for us if we win? I mean, a lot of people say this is the toughest. I mean, the Ravens, I think, is the toughest test. But I mean, can we say that officially we're back? This is we that team. We are a threat to the rest of the league. I mean, I know we are right now, but I mean, if we get this kind of victory, I mean, people are going to be sent back saying, "Whoa, wait a minute now."
Yes, absolutely. I would think so.
I think we've been back, guys. Honestly, I'm sorry. We've already put that stamp on it, man. Like, honestly, it's just for show now. This is just to wow people now. Like, this is until the playoffs happen. That's all it is. I love it, guys. We already proved we're that team. We're a top five team in this league, and now we just need to show it every week.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to move on because we got to show you how we think is going to happen with our keys to victory. Yeah, buddy. This is where we go around and each give 2 keys, one at a time, to what we think will bring the Commanders a victory this Sunday. Ab, I'm coming to you first. What is your first key to victory?
My first key is slow down TJ Watt. It's going to be a prime test. TJ Watt against Coleman. And Coleman did well last week. And so now he's got another test, TJ Watt. Now, I think TJ Watt is just like Brian Burns is like B, like level B. TJ Watt is like A+. Now, it's a little bit different of a test. And what can he do? Honestly, and it's about making adjustments to that also. If he can't stop TJ Watt by himself, we need to get tight end. We need to get McCaffrey over there. We need to get someone to chip him, bump him, just to give him time. And Jaden just needs, and honestly, Jaden needs to have eyes in the back of his head a little bit more during this game because they're going to bring the pressure, and he's going to have to create a little bit of magic. But yeah, it is to contain TJ Watt.
Oh, I like that. Will, what you think? What's your first key to victory?
Yeah, I'm kind of sticking on that theme there. I was kind of thinking about their pass rush, between Wiley and Coleman on our outside and Watt and Highsmith on their outside. But I'm going to go with Cliff Kingsbury drawing up plays to get the ball out of Jaden's hands, so to keep him clean.
Yep.
So I had a chance to learn a little bit about the Steelers this week, and I was told that the way they defend Lamar is they hit him every play. So to the point where they want him to finally say either stop calling the option play or I'm handing it off every time, but that they crash and they give him a bump and they get physical with it. And so if you're able to call plays so that that ball is out and they aren't able to get there, it can help slow down that pass rush.
Oh yeah. And
perfect. That is perfect.
And I wouldn't be a former running back, and I wouldn't be bringing my former running back buddy on the show if I didn't say, give the ball to B-Rob, and you have him run right at TJ and right at Hayward, and you let them know it's going to be an all-day dogfight. And we know B-Rob, he's tougher than many men. Many men. With that pony. Man, my boy he got shot. He ain't worried about TJ. He got shot. So give the ball to B-Rob, run him up the gut, get as long as he can do it. And then if you need to take him out, bring in that boy Christian Rodriguez and let him continue to run downhill. So much so that, like you're saying, where they hit the quarterback and they say, get him to the say, we don't want any more. Let's start hitting them. So all of a sudden, TJ Watt needs to take a play off, or Hayward needs to go to the sideline. Let Minka Fitzpatrick come in there and run over him, and let's send these guys to get breathers and stuff. Run the ball, and we need an effective run game so they don't know what's coming at them. All right, Ab, what is your second key to victory?
All right. Again, you guys might differ with me on this one, but probably the whole Washington Nation is going to be different with me on this one. But my keys to victory it's for more than just this game, but it's not to rush Lattimore onto the field. I think that is prominent. We traded him, even though he had a injury designation on him, his hamstring. So if he's not ready to play, let's not. I mean, do we need him? Hell yes. But is this game going to crush us if we lose it? No, it's not. It's an out of conference game. I'm not. Every game is important, but it's just not as important as an NFC game or NFC East game. And honestly, we need Lattimore for longevity, especially towards the end, like those other games, because we're going through a gauntlet soon. I would love him out there, but to me, not to rush him out there too quick, especially if he's not ready. Like just play by ear, my game time decision if he's going to play. We've gotten this far without him. What's another game?
Right. Yeah, I'm right. I'm right there with you. I'm 100% on board with that. Will, what you think?
Yeah, following along with that is I'm curious with how our cornerbacks are going to play. We don't know how much he'll know the defense to be able to play a lot with Lattimore. Pickens has all of a sudden started feasting with Russell as his quarterback. They just traded for Mike Williams, who's another big body. I'm not too worried about Freiermuth. Good player, but I think he'll get some of his catches. But their next leading receiver after that is Calvin Austin. I don't know if that guy's going to scare me. But we don't know how they're going to use Mike Williams. He's a big body. We don't know how we're going to stack up and defend Pickens and what they've been doing. So, are we going to give up the big plays that they've been, prone to the last 2 weeks that Pittsburgh has? And that's kind of what I really want to see. How do we defend this? How do we stop what they've started having an explosive offense?
Oh yeah. And I will say, when we got Antonio Gibson a couple years ago, we got him from Memphis. There was a two-headed monster in Memphis where they were there, and the other guy was Calvin Austin. These guys were definitely both. They were gadget guys. Yeah, guys that you can just throw out there. And if they do have these two wide receivers, I wonder if Calvin Austin, because I know when Russ first got in, Calvin, I think he had 2 touchdowns in that game. So I wonder if he gets less attention. But if Emerson, I'm thinking in my head. My third one is we know that the teams. Our defense, their defense, our offense, kind of the same statistically, kind of the way that we're both playing, kind of, even. I think the X factor in this ball game is going to be our special team. Now, first and foremost, we need to have our kicker, Siebert. We need our Austin Seibert. We need to have him in the game because Boswell, their kicker, is their guy. This guy, I mean, he's almost automatic himself. Yeah. And so I think this game could vary. And a lot of the times that we played, they come down to field goals or who can get that extra couple points that will put us over the top. So we need our special teams to play a major role in this ball game because it might come down to a defensive battle back and forth. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Ab, you said you got one more?
I do.
Yeah.
So what my last one, guys, I think is to put Russell Wilson in one of those blender situations that he gets into in the pocket. He steps back and he goes this way, and then he tries to run this way, and then he tries to run back, and then he ends up falling down. We need to get about 4 of those guys. So we need to get him in the blender situation and do it often, like it. So pure pressure on that man and get him discombobulated and dizzy from all the spinning he does.
Oh yeah, yeah. Definitely get him in that blender. I like that blender situation. Yo, all right, let's do it. Let's go ahead. Let's give our keys. All right, we gave our keys. Let's give our score predictions. What you got, Ab? I'll let you go first.
I think our defense will, especially if we add Lattimore, we have like a little bump. It'll be a bumpy learning situation. So I think we'll make our mistakes. So I think we'll need to score at least 30 in order to win this game. So I'm going to say 31 to 23.
Ooh, I like that. Will, what you think?
So I think this is going to be a big test. Jaden's been really good at being calm under pressure, but I think this is quite the defense that he's going up against. Has me worried. But I think both defenses are going to be able to make it tougher on the offense, and we're going to see less. We're not going to see as many touchdowns if your points are going to come from field goals. So I'm going to say 22-18 Pittsburgh.
Ooh, okay. A lot to me is dependent on if Austin Seibert plays, or if B-Rob, if he for sure comes back. And Lattimore, I agree with you, Ab, that let's not rush him back. If there's any inkling of an injury or anything, let's let him come in due time. I'm not worried about having to get this win in order to do that. But I like you guys. I really don't trust their offense. I think we can get Russ in that blender situation and get him in his mindset where he thinks he's 2012 Russ, where he can go and run around and do all that and then throw it downfield. But I don't think he's there. And if we could try to contain Pickens, I think we can get them. I think we win this thing 27-24. Last second field goal.
Oh,
Nice.
All right. So keeping it in there. So L, we know that y'all are so excited to see us because since we're winning now, you just gotta just feel the rhythm, feel the joy, people, because it just feels so good. It just feels so good that we're winning. We're excited about it, and we're picking our team to win. Realistically, that's what I like that. I like that, except for Will, but it's all good. Will's gonna be
because when I pick us to lose, we've been playing well, so I want to keep that juju going.
Do it.
I get it.
It's a method.
Do it.
Yo, we got to spend a special shout out to our guy, Mr. Ab Low. And look, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know, I've told you this every time Ab comes on here. The amount of stuff that goes through our chat about this team, about potential trades, potential moves, this stuff, we can write a book with the amount of stuff that comes out. So every time we get him on here, we already know, man, it's gonna be some full in-depth conversation about this game that we love. But you know what? Damn, if it don't feel good to talk about a winner. I mean, the last 4 or 5 years, we've been talking about teams that we could barely field the flipping team and trying to put weight in this guy and that guy. And now we like, man, we gotta show up. That's it.
It's a great feeling, Sean. It's so great, man.
Yeah.
And it's great to do it with you guys, man. It is. To share this moment with you guys, man, I can't wait.
Hey, we ain't done yet.
Not yet.
We are not done yet. Why, ladies and gentlemen?
What one thing we could look at, I was looking at their roster. The Steelers keep drafting our favorite, like, down the road linebackers. Mine was Nick Herbig from a couple of years ago. Peyton Wilson. is on their team. He's their starting. Yeah, you guys just reacted. Yeah. The Steelers keep grabbing the guys where we're like, I had that guy.
Yeah. I had him in every one of my drafts.
Right.
Like, is he going to be there? I was like, yeah, if the Steelers don't get him.
Right.
You know that's what they do. But yeah, hey, to your point, look, it's got us in here saying
playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
We're talking playoffs, Sean.
we're talking playoffs. That's exactly right. And why are we talking playoffs, ladies and gentlemen? Because we're back. Peace.
Left hand up.
That's right. All right, man. Hey, I've been waiting a couple days to say this. We're back. We're back.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Dun, 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 dun.